Welcome to Release Your Potential Now with Jane, your weekly dose of energy, wisdom, and healing, where we explore how energy shapes your life and how you can shift it to thrive in every area physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Each week, we'll dive into practical tools, real-world examples, and quantum energy perspectives to help you stay positive, navigate challenges, and reclaim your personal power. Whether you're dealing with stress, seeking balance, or curious about the energetic world around you, this is your space for insight, growth, and transformation.
If you're tired of starting strong and then losing steam, this episode is for you. Because it's not that you're lazy or broken or unmotivated. Most start-stop cycles happen because your nervous system doesn't feel safe holding consistent momentum. March is your Lamb month, the preparations phase, because April's energy turns up the heat. Today, I'll show you how to build stability now. So when April's Aries fire ignites, you can use it for real forward motion without burnout. And I'm going to lean on two simple truths I keep in front of me every day. First one is first things first, and finish what you start. I have these on sticky notes in front of me to keep me moving forward. So let's get into it. Welcome to Release Your Potential Now with Jane. I'm Jane Phillips, and I'm really glad you're here with me. Today's episode is Lamb to Lion. Stop the stop-start cycle. Discipline without burnout. And here's what you're going to walk away with. You'll understand why you get stuck in stop-start. You'll learn a simple structure to stabilize your energy and focus. And we'll take you on a mini reset so you can use it anytime you feel yourself drifting into overwhelm or avoidance. This is not about pushing harder. It's about building a system your body can actually live inside. So why March stability matters? This month's theme is in with the lamb, out with the lion. And March is when we prepare. We simplify, we clear, we stabilize. Because April brings a strong Aries-style initiation energy, the go signal. And when the go energy hits, it magnifies whatever is already present. If you're clear and stable, April feels like momentum and courage. If you're scattered and overloaded, April can feel like pressure and burnout. So March is about becoming stable enough to hold your momentum. And that's why my two Post-it notes matter so much. First things first, so your energy has direction, and finish what you start, so your nervous system learns it can trust you. So why the start-stop cycle happens? Let's normalize this. Start-stop is incredibly common. Here are three major reasons people start and stop. Reason number one is you're using adrenaline as motivation. You feel pressure, so you push, you sprint, and then eventually you crash, you've overloaded. This is not momentum, that's survival energy. We've all done that. I've been doing it recently a little bit. Reason number two is you're carrying invisible emotional weight. Emotional residue creates drag, self-doubt, fear of disappointing people, maybe fear of success or perfectionism, or an inner voice that says, why bother? This voice isn't truth. It's just clutter. Reason number three is there's no stable container. A lot of people don't fail because they lack talent. They struggle because they lack supportive structure. No structure equals energy leaks. Too much structure, you rebel. So if we're building structure that feels like support, we want to feel like support, not a cage. And this is where first things first becomes a superpower, because it stops you from scattering your energy across too many things. So our step one for March stability is choose one focus one thing you want to focus on first for the week. So ask yourself, if I could only move one thing forward this week, what would create the most relief or progress for me? That's your weekly focus. In the United States, we've got tax time coming up in April. So maybe that's something that you're ahead of. Maybe there's something that you need to focus on for there because you're procrastinating around it. But what if you could only move one thing forward, what would create the most relief or progress for you? Make this your weekly focus, because when you try to do everything, you often do nothing or do a little of everything and feel exhausted. So I want you to adopt this phrase like a mantra this week. First things first. What matters most? What moves the needle for you? What will create relief? And then the second step to keep you on track is you're going to create two anchors. One is daily and one is weekly. And this is just a suggestion. You may do it differently, but the idea is to take a time in your day where you are going to pause. This is for your daily anchor. 10 minutes that you're going to anchor in some way at the same time each day, or if that doesn't work for you, it's too much structure, at least have it somewhere in the day that you can adhere to. The idea is being able to set your clock and your timer for this is a break time. So this is going to create rhythm for you. And it could be simple. It could be writing something, doing a little planning, doing some clearing. It could be simply just walking a little bit to move your energy, stretching, making one important call, or just tidying part of your desk or your surface. The point is consistency. And so the suggestion is to set a timer to see if you can do that. And the second anchor is your weekly one finish line. So now we bring it to the second Post-it note. Finish what you start. Choose one task you will fully complete by the end of the week, because completion is medicine for the nervous system. Completion teaches your body we finish what we start. We can trust ourselves to do that. And just picking one will give you a sense of accomplishment by the end of the week. And step number 3 is the idea of a minimum viable day. So some days you're going to be really productive with this, and some days it's not going to work. You feel tired, scattered, emotional. This is a day where you don't quit, but you do the minimum version. So 5 minutes on something instead of 30, one email instead of doing the whole project, or one drawer clearing in the whole house. When I need to get started on clearing in the house, I hit the junk drawer first, because that's usually the one that I can work on. And I might not get it even all done, but I'll maybe spend 10 minutes doing that. So do something minimal if you're having a minimum viable day. The goal is to keep your promise to yourself in a way your system can tolerate. And here's the key. A minimum viable day still counts as finish what you start, because finishing the agreement, you're finishing the agreement to show up. Now, another idea, which we probably don't think about much, but create a no list. It protects momentum. Pick 1 to 3 things you're not going to do this week. Not over-explaining, not rescuing people. I'm not saying yes when my body says no, or not multitasking myself into exhaustion. And the whole multitasking thing is finish what you complete first things first, right? Because March is about steady stability, not proving. And then another step is number 5 is protect your energy at transitions. So start, stop often happens when we're transitioning, like waking up and then after scrolling through some things, or in between appointments, or an emotional conversation, or at the end of the workday. So choose one transition and add a 30-second reset. And whatever your reset is, it could be just stretching for 30 seconds. But the tiny reset prevents the spiral that turns one hard moment into I quit. So what happens with me on my these two ideas of finish what you start and first things first is I like to make a list every morning. Some people are good with their to-do list at night. My to-do list works in the morning. I'm an early riser, unlike most of my friends who are late. But I make a to-do list and I do a brain dump. And it can be a pretty long list. It can be 12 to 16 things. But at least it's a little bit of a brain dump. And it also helps me understand if there's some things that I just haven't quite finished. It could be I've done a client session and I've typed up the notes, but I haven't sent the notes to the client, or maybe I haven't typed up the notes, but I type them up and then send them to the client. So things like maybe take me 2 to 5 minutes is on my list, and I just clean up. So I finish what I start with some of that stuff. And the other thing, next thing I look at all these things I listed, what's the most important things to do today that really need to get accomplished? And so I look and say, what are 3 things that it would be lovely if I could do today, but what's the most important one to start with? Because it might be that I can't get all 3 things done. I get interrupted. But if I pick the most important one, that allows me to move forward. It's giving me my system. It declutters me. It takes a lot of stress off. Even dealing with something that's difficult, doing the first things first and finish what you start helps with the little things. But with the big ones, it allows me to make a dent. Even if I can't finish that thing, it's a first things first, so I've gotten started. So however you decide, the brain dump thing is something I highly recommend because we don't want the brain clutter. So I'm trying to teach some stability first, because stability is what allows your power to build without burning you out. So this is why I don't teach push harder. So now let's go back to our story of what we're doing here. So let's do a quick reset together. And this is another little guidance that I do. And again, you can pause this podcast if you need to for this. So take a slow breath in through your nose and then exhale through your mouth. And maybe place one hand over your heart, if you can, and quietly say, I don't need urgency to move forward. And breathe in and then exhale. And now, as we did last time, imagine your feet grounding into the earth. And this is the same idea with your roots that go down to the crystal in the middle of the earth. Any crystal you can imagine. It could be citrine or lapis or whatever inspires you. Wrap the roots around the crystal and up around your feet, and then pull you gently back to earth until you're grounded. And now say first things first. And now ask yourself, what is the next smallest step that matters most? And let your body answer. Not your panic, not your perfectionism. And now say, I finish what I start. And let that sink in. And you can also say, I choose to finish what I start, because that also allows God or the universe to support you on how to do that. So anytime you're feeling a little bit of panic and perfectionism, just go into your heart and say, I'm finishing what I start. Okay, that's good. And again, I'm doing a little bit of offering some support to you. So if a lot of the things that you're doing are causing you stress and these exercises are still not working for you, I do offer 20-minute consults, and you can go to janecphillips.com, and I can remove some of the blocks that you have in your system from a quantum level. I'm a certified medical intuitive, certified body code and emotion code. And a lot of times, just releasing some emotional attachments to things will free you up so that you get unstuck. You can figure out what matters most, what you should do first. So let's look at a few simple rules you want to think about. Number one is consistency beats intensity. And how I explain this, I've been doing my practice for about 16 years. And where I'm speaking to you from today is not where I was 16 years ago. And what I tell people is, who won the race? Was it the tortoise or the hare? And everyone knows the tortoise won because of steady, small steps forward. And the rabbit was all over the place and even lost track of where the finish line was. So consistency beats intensity. And then the rule number two is the first things first. Focus on one thing at a time. Maybe you can't finish it all in one sitting, but set a time limit to work on it. And make sure it's the important first thing, right? You've got your list of things that are absolutely have to be done, that are going to clear yourself for the Aries energy that's showing up in April. So focus on the important thing and one thing at a time, and then keep working on that. It might take you a week or it might take you 2 weeks, but keep that focus. You might be able to do some other first things first and finish them before, but don't lose sight of that first one that might take longer. So when you finish what you start, you're building trust within yourself that you are reliable, you're accountable to yourself. And your pace matters more than your mood. And we're not talking about a fast pace. We're talking about steady forward movement. And you've got your list of what's important to get done before the Aries energy shows. So just steady progress forward every single day. You might take a day off over the weekend or during the week. And then rest. The rest is part of your momentum. So taking some time off, taking time to take a walk around the block, to sit out in nature if the weather's permitting. But nature is going to support you. And we talked about that in our February podcast, is just be at peace with yourself and allow yourself to rest. So you don't need to be a lion in March. You're preparing for the lion, that Aries energy. So I have a challenge for you this week. And here's your weekly challenge. Choose one weekly focus. One focus for the week. First things first. And set your 2 anchors. 10 minutes daily at the same time that you're going to stretch, walk, just take a break. But do it at the same time if you can, because then you can put it in your calendar and make yourself do it for 10 minutes, because consistency is important. And then one weekly finish line. One thing, it's probably a bigger thing that you need to finish what you start. And you might have other small things that you need to start and finish. And also for the week, make a tiny no list. 1 to 3 things that you're not going to do this week. And use the quick reset at one transition each day. So take that reset, that 10 minutes each day, and repeat this once this week. March builds the stability that April, Aries fire will ignite. So start isn't a character flaw. It's usually a stability issue. And when you build stability, your power becomes trustworthy. Next week, we'll continue the Lamb to Lion series with discernment. How to choose what deserves your fire and what needs to be released before April. I'm Jane Phillips, and this is Release Your Potential Now with Jane. Until next time, be gentle with yourself and keep building your runway. Thank you.
You've been listening to Release Your Potential Now with Jane, your weekly dose of energy wisdom and healing. Tune in on Transformation Talk Radio to unlock the power of energy healing and transform your life one insight at a time. Share this episode with a friend who's feeling stuck and might benefit from a little extra support on their journey. Together, we can create a ripple effect of healing and positivity, empowering individuals to live healthier, more joyful lives. Are you ready to gain control of your life and health? Then visit janecphillips.com to book a session, join a workshop, or explore how energy wisdom can help you heal and thrive.